Okay, real quick. It's like fucking 11:30 p.m. I have no idea when the beta is going to end, but I did want to really quickly record something, get a note, my overall thoughts on the beta. Okay, first things first. DI is not that bad. I have decided. I've gotten much more used to reacting to it with a counter DI. It's fine. Especially, one, I've gotten much more used to countering it, and two, I've gotten much more used to using parry on defense when I have any inkling or general idea that a strike of any kind is coming. You know, just throw out a parry. If it's successful, I gain back meter. It's fantastic. It's excellent. It blocks mix-ups, blocks DIs. You can sometimes get perfect parries out of it just randomly if you use it a lot. It's great. So, gotten much more used to that. Damage from punish counter throw. Sometimes I eat it. It's like whatever. You know, it is what it is. Making executive decisions. So yeah, I'm fine with DI now. I think it's cool. Especially, I've seen what it looks like in the hands of. I think it's actually a very great beginner-friendly mechanic because it's just so universal in how it will just blow through fucking everything. So, you know, a player doesn't need to know how to fucking. Because even if, okay, say a person throws projectiles a lot and a new player wants to jump, even then, new players are not even necessarily, like really, really new beginner players can't even necessarily time jump-in attacks correctly. Like, you'll see this a lot. You'll see people trying to do this if you teach absolute beginner players. But anyone can just hit one button and just, like, get a lucky strike, blow through anything, land the strike on hit. It's just very beginner friendly, and it's like when you look at beginner matches versus beginner matches, beginner versus beginner, it is fucking chaos, but each player is a total, you know, agent of their own destiny, I guess you could say. They get to play because they have stuff like this that they can just fucking throw out and do in so many situations, in neutral, on offense, defense, etc. And, you know, they don't have to learn all the technical details of the game. They can legitimately play against a player that, you know, another weak player that isn't going to be reacting to it and counter DIing or anything. It's just chaos, but it's active chaos. They get to use tools. They get to engage in the fight. I think it's really good. So I'm totally fine with it as of right now. I will say it is a mental stack thing, like, it makes the mental stack harder. I've played a lot of matches now. Well, not as much as, like, the strong players, but I played a fair amount of matches. I have about 65 hours in this beta. And I think, you know, the mental stack of jump-ins, dashes are not that strong in this. They don't go that far, except for, like, Juries goes really far. They're not that fast. You know, my SF5 practice makes it, I'm pretty consistent at jabbing dashes even in this game still. So, dashes are not that big of a thing. But, the main mental stack stuff is just normal footsies. Because throw range is fucking insane in this game. You can get thrown from like a mile away. And, jumps, DIs, DRs into any of the variety of actions you can take after DR. And some characters, the mental stack gets even worse, depending on. So, any fireball character, you also have to worry about the fireball on screen, reacting to it, parrying or dealing with it being at the right spacing, recognizing the speed of it. Against Guile, a lot of your focus is going to be on, like, the projectile game and anything like that. And, so that will absorb even more of your mental stack. So I find it hardest to react to Guile's DI because it's just I have to be looking for his control over the neutral so much that you know, it's that much harder to react to other degenerate shit. Next up, a couple observations. So obviously everyone knows that there's almost no plus on block normals in this game. You know, there's like, oh, Chun actually does have a plus move, which is shocking, but most frame traps for most characters, you do a light sequence or you do something that has built-in frame traps, like doing this into the stance, into the jab from the stance, into the fireball. Let's see, character-specific things that I haven't seen anyone else post on Twitter. I've already mentioned this, but Kimberly gets combos off of her V reversal, her drive reversal, or whatever. So, she can set up bomb and then walk forwards, and if I put a recording setting... So yeah, you can get, you can get shit like that going. Other things with Kimberly, you can do... If you set up a bomb, like if you just toss a bomb and they're in the corner or something, or you have a setup that goes into it, you can force your way in with, full screen slide into level 3, and it gives you the buff, and the bomb covers you in your plus. Let's see what else. You've got all sorts of fancy side switch combos and other routes you can go for. I haven't seen many people post the optimal using that target combo in the middle of blocks, because it'll give you better... It does more damage for the same... You can get a bomb set up after it if you do it in the corner. Also, of course, I already talked about this in Kimberly's video, but the double bomb block strings. So that's all a long block string. Also, you can get double bomb combos, so you can get comparable... Your high damage is always going to be... just going straight into the EX, but you can get comparable damage without having to spend any resources, or spend any meter. By doing that, just double bombing it. And then into whatever. You can do another bomb setup. There's a couple different routes you can take for no meter. Other things I haven't seen. You can do this with every single character in the game except for Guile. If you have them react to, you know, like react to a normal into the green stuff or anything, you can do this at any timing. Put it at random. You can just react to it and blow it up. So, theoretically, the drive reversal is supposed to beat every action that you can do, except for, like, supers. You can also do supers. Well, invincible supers. So yeah, very easy to react to. And then, if they don't do anything, it's better to do this off of heavies, so that you can leave more of a gap, and then you can just go for something else, if there's nothing to react to. Too early. So yeah. The only downside, of course, to doing this is that it costs, like, you have to spend 5 bars to do this, 3 bars to do the drive rush off of a canceled normal, and then another 2 to do the EX reversal, unless you use a super, obviously. Now, thank fucking God, Guile is the only character who cannot do this at all, because his supers, his invincible supers, and his reversal are both charge moves he can't do after drive rush. So if he does a move into drive rush, you can just V-reversal that shit all day, with one slight exception. He can dash into his install, and then he can block or parry the drive reversal, and then he can punish the 8-frame move. So, now, the funny thing about this is that this actually, you can do it like that. It has to be a hard read. If you do it off of this, you can't react to the drive rush. It'll hit you. It's too late. You have to input it immediately. But even if you hard read it or anything, if you do it off of a heavy, you're still not too bad. If you do it immediately off of that, see, you're +2. That drive rush install, you're safe from drive reversals, and you're +2. I don't want to help Guile players, because fuck Guile, he's absurd right now, but you can do that. I found that almost every character's low forward has like the same hurtbox properties on startup. So there's a funny thing where if you do, if I have him reversal, wake up, block reversal, crouch, medium, kick, activate. So if I do this, here's the thing about, like, say, Chun standing heavy punch, is that if I do it, it's -4 on block, and then he does like a 7 or 8 frame move, so I can't jab or anything. With an 8 frame normal, I could trade, but it's like not a great trade. But with a 7 frame normal, there's nothing I can do, and backdash is useless in this game, so you can't fucking, you know, backdash the strike preemptively unless you're already out of range for it. So backdash there does nothing. Jump does nothing. This move, which gets you airborne the fastest out of all of her moves, does nothing. So yeah. The problem is if you do heavy punch, you're almost always in range for the opponent's low forward and you're -4. So you're kind of screwed in this situation. You can't walk backwards because it's a low. You can't challenge, so you're left with nothing. If you do this move on block, you're just fucked. You are in the death range of the low forward. But even if she goes into the stance, right? So if she goes into that stance, which is like a very silly, weird move that I think kind of sucks ass, except for combos and a couple of other things. It makes her standing heavy kick amazing. Her standing heavy kick is like one of the best normals in the game, because you just fucking randomly swing this out, and if you just, any hit that you just randomly confirm, oh, you happen to hit them like walking or standing or something, instantly get all this damage and knockdown from just flailing. Literally just flailing. Huge. Ridiculous. But if you do this, go into the stance, here's the thing. You can do this move. It'll trade with 8 framers, lose to 7 framers or anything faster. But you can actually do the jab from this stance, and here's the thing about the stance moves. Even though the stance is like weird and shitty, all of the stance normals have insane active frames. 5 active frames across the board. So, if you do standing heavy punch into the jab, you can beat basically every low forward in the game. every single low forward has the same hurt box on startup. So if they reversal with a low forward, or a lot of other normals also have this hurt box, you can just jab it. And here's the thing about this stance, is that you can buffer this into anything, because she can't do anything. Like, if I normally try to buffer a jab into, like, a spinning bird kick, it's easy to accidentally have both come out. But if you do this, if I were to turn off his thing, you can easily do the move and just buffer it, and if nothing comes out, you can just stay in stance. You can poke out with something else at any time. It's kind of rough being in stance because you can't... One, there's nothing you can do to overheads. You literally can't block overheads, and you can't exit the stance. Two, you can't do anything about drive impact. Technically, you can slide under it at a certain timing, but it's basically impossible to do it on reaction because the way the low profile works, you have to do it kind of early. Or you could, if someone does a DI, you could do a button immediately canceled, but it's very hard to react to that. You'd have to be very different from just reacting with a raw DI if you're not in this weird, shitty, kind of shitty stance. But yes, you can access that and buffer that jab to beat normals that would normally take the turns off of her weirdly kind of not great standing heavy punch. And you can do this fucking everywhere. Just a free buffer. 5 active frames. Great hurt box. It's not bad. It has a shocking amount of recovery. As you can see, 16 frames for recovery. So basically, until she gets to the point where her hands are back in that position, where she's holding them back like that, she's still in recovery. So that whole process, she's still in recovery. And she can still be punish counter hit. So it is actually whiff punishable, even though it's just a fucking jab. You can whiff punish it on reaction, but it's difficult. It would not... In the heat of battle, it's unlikely to whiff punish it. And yeah, that's leads into the next thing I was going to talk about. I almost forgot that I wanted to talk about this. Block strings in this game are weird and goofy because you have, like, no... you have, like, no plus buttons. So if you do that, it's not my turn anymore. If you do, like, any fucking normal, it's not my turn anymore. So the only thing that you can do to make it your turn or to create a frame trap is to either cancel into a special that will create a frame trap. So for Chun-Li, if I were to do, like, a light block string, right? Here's the issue. That's the longest I can go for the rapid cancels for the lights. And it's at this range. -2 at this range. I'm still in low forward range. So I can't do this into low forward because I'm -2. If I were in the mirror match and we both hit low forwards there, I'm losing that. So that's the awkward thing, where if you do block strings, you're technically... It's very weird. So, like, you can do, like, these actual obvious sequences that push you back further. But here's the thing. The things with pushback tend to be things that can be DI'd. So, for instance, if I wanted actual pushback so I can complete my block string and not leave myself negative within low forward range, I would have to do the fireball. If I do the fireball, I can get DI'd. I can get there. I can get DI'd to the jab and the fireball, and I'll just blow up. So it's one of those weird, goofy things. And in fact, if she does stand medium punch, like, the only thing that she can create a frame trap off of is a 4-framer. So one of her jabs. But if she does stand medium punch, she doesn't have enough time to even gain back charge. for the fireball. So there's no threat of fireball off of that. So you know, if you're playing against her, you know that you can challenge immediately after the next button that she does. You know that you can just do something. But this is where some characters shine a little bit better than others. I haven't tested everyone yet, but for instance, if I'm playing Kimberly, I can do that. So, if I do this, crouch light kick is a 4-frame or 5-framer, but you can rapid cancel into and out of it. That actually has, oh my fucking god, some dumbass decided to match with me. What just happened? Why did I go into the air? I just hit stand medium kick to anti-air. I hate his sweep so much. Oh my god. It's also pretty laggy too. Why did this fucking guy have to fucking match with me? I didn't get the input I wanted. I blocked that, that's a lie. Yeah, the sweep there, that makes sense. Ugh. Boring. Yeah, sweep there, that makes sense. Yeah, whatever. Oh my fucking god, leave me alone. Is there no etiquette where you're from? Do you not understand what, like, some random stranger in an incredibly desolate, empty lobby on the back end up the stairs in this secluded section, you don't understand what that means? Just play ranked, dude. So anyways, yes, the Kimberly has extra pushback on one of her lights that she can do from her block string, which means that if the opponent reversals with one of their 4 or 5 frame lights that would normally reach you if you do a normal block string, like for instance, if I do fucking... Actually, let me do... Yeah, recording settings. If I play the recording, I'm still in range for that. Why is it not? Okay. So if I do the thing... Why is it not doing that? I restart the battle, he should be blocking. Why the fuck is he not blocking? What is going on? He's not playing the recording, so clearly he should be blocking. There we go. Okay, it's fucking freaking out. But if I do that, then I'm still in range, because fuck it. There, yeah. So, low short, low jab, low short is you can hit confirm the first 2 hits, and then the last one pushes you far back so that even when you end your block string and you're -2, you can fucking outspace them or jab them and take your turn or anything. Not a lot, not a ton of the characters have something like that, you know. But I'm actually not sure about that, so let's look through, see who else has a rapid cancel normal that has extra pushback. His thing already just pushes back like crazy. God, Luke is just really good in this game. Look at that. Fucking insane range. That's so good. There we go. Yep. Jamie also has a good string sequence. It's just Chun-Li that, like, doesn't have it. Not as good as Luke's, but it's there. See Jury. I think it's literally just... It might just be Chun. That's kind of fucked. If it's -1, you can backdash the 8-frame fucking normal. Look at that. So yeah, she's definitely sitting pretty. She can even avoid the fucking low forwards. Can you not rapid cancel into... Oh, well... I find it very interesting and funny that his low short is -5. In fact, doesn't that mean that if he ever does low short on you, you can technically punish if you have a 5-frame, yeah, hang on. Hang on. This is hysterical. Hang on. Yeah, it's guaranteed. That's amazing. That's... Okay. That's a joy. It's a light, so it's probably hard to react to, but... That's fantastic. I love that. Fuck Guile. So yeah, he can push back like crazy. He doesn't give a shit. He can push back a decent range. So other characters are better, but... Like Luke... Like, the fact that he can go for what he would normally want to do anyways, plus it also has the pushback, means that his Luke's is probably the best. Although Jury's has that -1 instead of -2, so she can backdash 8-frame low forwards. Yeah. Anyways, that's how it breaks down. Sucks for Chun-Li. The other thing about this game is the situation with fireballs is just so weird. Because, okay, Guile is fucked up, and we all know that, but right now... You can do shit like that, basically, where anyone's projectiles are either incredibly oppressive. There's basically this high wall skill ceiling or skill cap where if you can semi-consistently perfect parry projectiles, it's like night and day in the matchup. Like, because you can immediately cancel it into like a dash or a fireball of your own or any action you want. You just negate all of the block stun and pushback and meter anything of that. In fact, I think you gain meter back for perfect parrying. You actually don't. That's interesting. That's funny. So you gain meter if you regular parry, but if you perfect parry, you don't gain any meter. That's weird. I wonder if that's even intentional or not, because that's just very bizarre. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, a single perfect parry can, like, change the difference, and if you can get them semi-consistently, especially if you're in the close range, you can get punishes. So, yeah. The fact that fireballs are, like, either extremely powerful and you have very limited tools to deal with them, or you have an insane plethora of wonderful tools to deal with them, all hingent on the fact that you have to perfect parry the projectiles. So, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. It's very... I have been trying to practice it for a bit. Yeah, it is very difficult for me to perfect parry these fucking... Why is it not play? Oh, I just turned it off. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very difficult, I think. Extremely difficult. So, I don't know. And it's rough that, like, no matter what you do with your parry, like, if they keep throwing fireballs at you, the best you're going to get is just to stay at the level of meter that you currently have. Like, you can't gain back meter, you know, unless you keep holding the same parry and hope that they keep... Anyways, that's about it, I think. I can't think of anything else that I've found that hasn't already been shared by other people on Twitter. Because people have found a lot of fucking tech for every character. Moke is constantly posting great tech with Chun-Li. Tons of people are posting Kimberly tech. A couple people posting Jamie. Lots of people doing Feng Shui combo videos. Nobody wants to post tech with Guile. At least not that I've seen on Twitter. Everyone's just complaining about him. Nobody wants to be seen as part of the problem. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck do you need to know? He's just fucked up. The only note of value is that almost all of his normals that he uses in neutral are guaranteed drive reversal. You can drive reversal every normal on block and get a knockdown. But even so, it's cringe. He's cringe. Anyways, yeah, very excited for the full game to release. Having a lot of fun. Game is incredibly fun to play. I like a lot of the shit you can do. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I had to like give my dumbass, pointless, completely redundant, arbitrary, nothingburg thoughts on character strength, I do think Luke, like, just looking at the pure... I should mention, I talked about how every character's low forward has the same bad hurt box. Luke's actually has a really good one. Luke's is the only, out of this cast of characters, Juri's has a shit one. Juri's hurt box on her low forward is, like, quite bad. It extends really far immediately. Luke is the one character, his low forward doesn't go as far as some of the other characters, but it is a 7-framer. But it's not as far as Chun-Li's 7-framer. But it has a much better hurt box on startup. You actually can't do the jab tech shit with Chun-Li to beat it, because it's just, it doesn't have that extended hurt box right away. Yeah, I think overall Luke's tools are like the most solid out of the entire cast right now. Luke is extremely good. His fireballs are reactable and more consistently perfect parryable than the rest of the cast, or the rest of the cast's fireballs. That is true. But, you know, he doesn't need to do that. Yeah, Kimberly is really strong, obviously. Juri's really strong. I think all the characters are... I think the argument for the weakest character... I don't know, man. I mean, Chun is... There's a lot of... I spent most of this beta playing Kimberly and Chun, and labbing every character. Most of the characters make sense. I look at their toolkit and I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. Tons of really useful shit, applicable everywhere. For Chun-Li, I got a lot of like head scratcher moments labbing. I was like, why the fuck is it that limited? You know, just like what I was talking about with her being the only character that doesn't have a light block string that will push her out of the range of... Oh, beta's ended. Push her out of the range of, what do you call it? Long range 4 and 5 frame light buttons. Yeah. I don't know about Chun. Her stance... The main value of her stance, other than just as a combo fodder tool and confirming her stand heavy kick into fucking anything, a big problem with her stance is that it is shockingly limiting, and it is free as fuck to drive impact. Any cancel she ever does, if you ever think she's going to cancel into the stance, you can just drive impact for free, and there's very, very limited things that she can do that she's reasonably going to do to stop it. Yeah, her stance is kind of weird. Other than that, but yeah, Chun has, like, the best stand heavy kick in the game. She's fucking amazing at that. She has pretty, I mean, I think she's still good. I mean, I think that, you know, her low forward is quite good. The stance does augment her stand heavy punch and heavy kick, and a couple other moves she can do in neutral in interesting ways. She has a bad drive rush, and bad buttons to use off of drive rush, but she does good combo damage very easily, and variety of tools. She's pretty good against projectiles. Her projectiles are really good. And yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, fucking whatever. You can't, there's a certain point where you can't, like, overcomplicate things. You just have to look at the simple strengths, like stand roundhouse, amazing button. Yes. Huge damage, huge range off of fucking nothing. Fantastic. You have to look at the raw simplicity of, like, the single strong elements and just abuse those. So, yeah, I think all the characters in this beta are quite particularly good. I don't think there's a weak link. Although Guile is fucked up, and I don't like fighting him.